Hello, everybody. I am Damien Jaxxyn with the Midnight Drive. Joining me today is Jenny, Gareth, Robbie, and Derek of Augmented Hearts. How you all doing?
Yo, what's going
Yay,
on?
doing great.
Glad you all could join me today. I know it's been probably a busy day for all of you.
Oh yeah.
You had off, didn't you?
No.
Oh, did you not? No, yeah, you had the long drive today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today is my day off.
Yeah.
All right, so really happy to have you on. We were actually talking about how I found you. I actually found you scrolling through Instagram. As much as I hate going through social media and stuff, but with doing this, I'm getting to find out about more bands and stuff. And you guys caught my eye. Well, I guess more my ears when it comes to your music because it just blew me away. I'm just like,
Oh.
who is this? I went definitely music diving on Spotify. I know Spotify sucks. I'm sorry, but definitely went on there.
Necessary evil at the moment, but
Yeah, I know. But went on there, found your like discography and different other songs, and I love it. I think my favorite song right now, if I remember right, it's Drowning. Yeah, Drowning in
Oh yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
That's a
I
fun
felt-
one.
Yeah.
We thought you were
Love
gonna
that
say
song.
calling. That's everybody else's favorite.
Calling, drowning, a lot of verbs, a lot of
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah. But no, it's super cool the way you found us through Instagram because, we're always posting on socials and, oh, what like cool idea or what trend should we jump on? And sometimes it feels like you're just throwing things out into the void.
Oh, for sure.
So whenever we have people like reach out to us or message us, it's always really cool. It's like, oh my gosh, a real person actually saw this. So
Yeah.
we appreciate it.
Trust me, I get that too with my other side of things that I do outside of hosting a rock show. So I definitely get is anybody watching this? Why am I doing this? Like, I just want to put music out there. So I definitely get that. But all right, so I have some standard questions, but I'm also going to ask some questions just in the natural flow of the conversation that it might stump you or be like, man, no one's ever asked me that before. But, so main one is, how did you all meet?
Gareth, you want to talk
We met on Craigslist. Well, we didn't meet on Craigslist, but we put an ad on Craigslist, and it's kind of a ship of Theseus situation where Jenny is now the longest tenured member of the band, and it was born out of another project that had about 50 other people, I think.
Oh my God,
And
it was
about
a
20,
revolving door.
20 other auditions. That actually one of our first songs that we released, Seth, is about a guy who wouldn't commit to an audition for that original project. But I want to say it was in what, 2023, 2024. So
Yeah.
one of those years that, yeah, I saw the Craigslist ad and I came out, auditioned on bass, and then we knew Robbie. He was a good drummer, and then we met Derek, and he was on Craigslist as well. So probably like 3 separate Craigslist ads that
Yeah.
kind of came together. It's a real hodgepodge situation
Not a
here.
sponsor.
But no.
Craigslist for the win. I mean, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, we had our fair share of very interesting people we've met or come across, and yes, yeah, the one thing to watch out for is if you ever audition for a band and do something strange, I might write a song about you.
No murders that I know of.
Shout out to Craig.
Yeah, at least no crazy things. Nothing crazy happened when you guys met. So,
Yeah.
what inspired you into making the music that you guys do? Because from what I've heard, it's either that like melodic kind of rock, like a Evanescence, somewhat like a Flyleaf, stuff like that. But then you'll get like into the more harder rock from other. And I apologies for trying to compare bands stuff like
Oh,
that.
no.
But
You're
what
fine.
There's a reason they
Well,
made
what-
it.
but what kind of inspires you to make the music that you do?
I think it's been a little bit of like a journey of also figuring out kind of where we wanted to fit with our sound. Because if you listen to some of like the earlier stuff we've released and put out, it was probably a little more like pop punky sounding. And then I think we were really leaning into that like ethereal, like dark vibes. And when we really started like kind of leaning into, okay, like this is something I'd like to listen to, let's figure out how this all vibes with all of our influences and put that together, we got Augmented Hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, like the desire to make music. I mean, it's not it sounds corny, but it's not to make it, although we wouldn't complain. But it's one of those things that you just do it, right? Like it's a lot of the time for me anyway, and I think everybody here, it's as natural as breathing. You want to pick up an instrument, you want to, play the piano, you want to play the guitar, you want to sing, you want to write lyrics, and whether that's a conscious effort based on, hey, I need to get this emotion out there, or if it's an unconscious thing that you just are drawn to do, we all do that. And yeah, that I guess we haven't really thought too much about it aside from that.
Yeah, we definitely tend to genre bend a lot, so we don't really fit too much into one category, which has been something since the beginning we've been okay with because we want to make something new and kind of our own. So we try not to fit any like certain mold, I guess, when it comes to music. Like we haven't specifically tried to go to punk or specifically try to go to metal, but we kind of just let our sound be our sound.
I think definitely doing that genre bending helps out a lot of bands because, like you say, you're not seen in a that's probably not the right word, not seen as like a one note thing or just like you're just stuck. It's kind of like how actors are, where they only do action movies, and then when they try to do like dramas or something else, it's like, well, we only know you from this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
doing that genre bending definitely, like, you can hear it in your music to where it actually brings it a lot more together.
Right.
The name Augmented Hearts, what does it come from, or what inspired it?
So Jenny.
So I am terrible with names, like so bad. I really struggle to remember people's names for some reason, and there was someone who had. Long story short, I really butchered another band's name, and I had said Augmented Hearts, and that was not their name at all. But everyone just kind of loved the mess up and the randomness of it, and we kind of just kept joking about it. And when it came time to picking a band name, it wasn't even on the list, and one of the guys was like, "Why don't we just name ourselves Augmented Hearts?" And we were just kind of like, "Okay, yeah, we're doing this."
Yeah. So a mistake from calling another band a different name comes like, hey, this is our band name now. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry.
I won't ask. I think you already said, but I won't ask who the other band was because it just.
I didn't say. I mean, I have commented it somewhere on socials, but yeah.
Coming up with a band name, it's always a little hard because you're like, everything just sounds awkward and weird until it's established. And like, it's finally gotten to the point where I don't think it sounds weird anymore. But like, for a while, I just like, I think what helped carry it over was it was this inside joke that at least we were like, oh, well, we'll call ourselves that. That's funny. And then it just became natural.
No, you tell everybody your backstory is like you all had breakups at the same time, and then you all met and decided to play music, and Augmented Heart, like we were all just fragments of hearts, and then when we met each other, we
That
all
sounds a lot
completely
better. We might steal that for the next one.
Actually, and we can say we all found each other through like the Craigslist. What is the one we're looking for?
Oh, a lot misconnections.
Misconnections. That's how there we go.
Yeah.
This is into the lore of Augmented Hearts now. We all posted on Misconnections.
So we're gonna need to delete this soon.
Start over.
Start over.
That is hilarious. All right, how long have you guys been a band?
With the current lineup, what, like a year?
Year and a half? Year?
About
Yeah.
a year and a half?
Year, really?
Year and a half?
Yeah.
So it's been a changing of the lineup.
Yeah, change in lineup. We kind of changed direction of what like the earlier version of what things were, and then it developed into Augmented Hearts, and that's who we are now, and kind of what we're doing now. So,
Have all of you been in different bands before you started this, or were mostly just like playing like drums, guitar, and doing other stuff like that?
I was in a bunch of like basement bands growing up. But a lot of them didn't go anywhere or didn't evolve past out of the basement. So this is like the first like air quotes legit band I've been a part of.
Yeah, same. I was in a smaller act in Richmond when I lived there, but it wasn't it wasn't going to go anywhere. I wasn't trying to do anything beyond just, a small local act.
this is actually the first band I've been in, so it's definitely been just a fun journey and learning process throughout.
Yeah, I was in school band, but not a band, so I don't think that counts. And I was pretty much self-taught from there. I played in our local church and stuff, but this is like the first time I've actually made music with drums.
Right. I mean, even doing band, I'm pretty sure that is more of like a routine because you have love what you got
Right.
to learn, and even with church, it's certain pattern with like the drums you got to do. So I'm pretty sure going into a rock group, it's you have a more like free flow of things. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, putting your own ideas on stuff has definitely been really exciting because you can kind of build the songs from the ground up, which is something I've never done before, but I really enjoy it.
All right. Kind of piggybacking off that question and off the, Robbie playing drums in church and band. How did everybody find their like skill and talent of? I mean, Jenny, you doing the vocals. Garrett, are you not drums, guitar,
I'm bass. Yeah.
bass? Okay.
Mm.
And then Derek, I'm guessing your
I
guitar.
I started because my friends wanted to do a song cover for a talent show in high school, and one of them was like, "I already play guitar," and one of them was like, "Well, I already sing," and then another was like, "Well, I play drums," and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play bass?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure," but they were my closest friends, so I really wanted to commit to it, and I actually learned it. The song was "Stockholm Syndrome" by Muse, and
Mm.
they wanted to play that for the talent show, and I was the only one that learned it the whole way, and they had loaned me the bass and an amp, and I was like, well, that was pretty fun. Like, getting video games is getting kind of boring, and I wasn't doing too much else, so I would just play, and yeah, it took off from there.
Yeah, I'm still searching for the talent, but I mean, everything I've learned just came from, playing in school, and then I had a drum set, I think since I was 15. And I went 10 years where I didn't have any because I was moving and stuff. And then with the band starting up, I started getting back into it. So eventually the talent will come.
We're waiting on it.
Oh, Derek,
For me, around 2004, 2005, a little video game came out called Guitar Hero,
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
and I just fell in love with it. And eventually, I was like, "Hey, maybe I should try a real guitar," and I did, and here I am. Kind of a boring story, I guess.
No, it was similar
Everybody
for me,
starts
although
somewhere.
it didn't inspire me to play music, but like it definitely helped me start to like branch out and like learn about music.
Definitely learned
Like,
about a lot of different types of music
Mhm.
from those games.
Trust me, I was a Guitar Hero kid too, so
Yeah.
it definitely made me want to play the guitar. I was a Guitar Hero guy. I was a DJ hero. Now
Nice.
I am a DJ outside of doing radio stuff.
It's
So
the gateway drug, yeah.
it gets you into the music more, and then it's like,
Mhm.
huh, this isn't hard. And then you actually try it, it's like, oh
Yeah.
crap, this is hard as hell.
What have I
Yeah.
done?
Oh, there's more than 5 buttons.
Not for punk music.
That's true. That's true.
I'm joking.
Oh.
Good.
Yeah, and then I mean, I've always
No, we don't
done
care about you.
singing. Okay.
She's a singer.
Yeah, no one cares. No one cares.
I can't like how did you get into singing? Like were you like naturally gifted? Did you learn how to
I mean, it's always learning, practicing, but when I was in, I think kindergarten or first grade or something, my mom really wanted me to be like in ballet and do dance, and we had some school concert, and I had a line to sing, and a bunch of moms went to my mom and said, "Hey, you've got her in the wrong stuff. Like, you got to get her out of dance and get her into music." So then my mom started throwing me in, choir and church choir and different like singing groups in the area that she could find. And I did go through my stint of trying a whole bunch of instruments. I tried the flute, the drums, the guitar. None of these things lasted very long, but the singing stuck. So nothing crazy. Always just done, like choir or like musical theater here and there. It wasn't really until I was like, okay, like I actually want to be in a band. I'm going to do it. Like I'm going to audition. And a few years ago, I was like scrolling through Craigslist because I didn't know where else to look. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Oh
So,
yeah. So you said you were from the Virginia area before?
I'm from Virginia.
Oh, you're
You're
from
from.
I'm from Chicagoland area.
Hey, same. What
Yeah.
property?
I'm from
I'm
Orland
south.
Park.
Okay,
Southside.
I'm from Dalton.
Okay.
And then Derek and Robbie.
I grew up in Missouri, about an hour south of St. Louis, so
Mm,
I'm pretty much from here.
okay.
I'm from around the Champaign area.
Oh, you're from the Champaign area. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you heard of Fisher?
Yes, I've actually been there. I actually did a wedding out in Fisher, and it's like a half hour away from here, or something like that. It
Yeah,
is pretty
yeah,
small.
yeah. Go Bunnies!
But I remember this, and I don't know if y'all had this either. But like in elementary school, we're having like to play the recorders. Did
Oh
anybody?
yeah.
I
Hot
think.
cross buns.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm. Oh, see, for me, it was like I think it was Beethoven's Fifth that we had to do.
Whoa.
That's a
So
little
yeah,
more
it was.
than
It
we
was.
A
did.
little more
Yeah.
advanced than what we did.
Yeah.
I never graduated.
I think that was everybody's like thing into a musical instrument. It was like, all right, you're all gonna learn how to play the recorder, and
Mhm.
every parent is like, I hate
Yep.
school. Like,
Yeah.
I,
I think I would have stuck with it if my parents hadn't just absolutely hated me practicing it. And they're just the sound of it was so shrill and piercing. They were
Oh, yeah.
so mad about it. I was like, okay, fine, I won't touch this.
Mhm. I used to still I used to have mine like a couple years ago. I don't know what happened to it, but my dad's probably like, good, get it away.
Yeah, someone mercy killed it. Yeah.
Probably.
Hey, you can always pick it back up.
Maybe.
They're not
I probably-
expensive.
True. They were
Yeah.
probably paying like $5 for those like plastic things.
I know.
Yeah.
How has being a band like been like the last, you said, year and a half with each other? Like how's it been?
Great.
Great.
I mean, yeah, I've done so many things, and I think we've all done so many things we never thought we would do. Like going on tour was really cool.
Yep.
Got to see a whole bunch of the country that I never thought I would see, or at least it would take me longer to see. I learned that Cleveland gets a bad reputation. That was a cool city.
Mhm.
I love Cleveland.
Yeah, it was cool. It's been really. I mean, I think my favorite part is just meeting people, like either people from other bands or just people in attendance. That's always the most fun, is having that ability to connect with people, even if they don't give a shit about your music, like whatever. Like, but usually people there are at least engaged. That's the cool part. But yeah, it's the travel and the experience of it has been the most fun part. And you couple that with you're able to record these songs that are going to be there forever. I can look back in 60 years and listen to them and go, wow, I have some pride in that. Like, that's pretty cool.
That was me.
Yeah, I used to be cool too.
Now, when you say you went on tour, did you go like from all nationwide? I can't talk today. I'm sorry. Did you go nationwide? Was it just like
Yeah, I
certain-
mean, it was a segment of the nation. It's pretty much Midwest. It was
Up to
Where-
Pennsylvania. I
Yeah,
think
we did.
Pittsburgh was the farthest place.
Louisville, Kentucky, and then Chicago.
Sure, we did
Right.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, 3 different Ohio stops, Omaha, Nebraska,
Nashville.
Nashville, that was cool.
Mhm.
And what else? I feel like we're missing one. Maybe we're not.
Kansas
but-
City.
Oh,
Kansas City, Lawrence, Kansas,
Milwaukee.
Lawrence.
Milwaukee. Milwaukee was cool.
So mostly Midwest.
Mostly
Yeah,
Midwest, but
Midwest.
it was great.
A lot of fun.
I hear from a lot of bands that like Tennessee is like that big place that a lot of people want to go to. Out like Chicago and stuff, yes, but it seems like Nashville is it's always been like that hotbed for music, but
Yeah.
it definitely seems like it's that go-to state.
Yeah.
Like whether it is
Yeah.
Nashville or Memphis, whatever like that, it is a place where a lot of bands or just artists want to go to.
Mhm.
What is it about Nashville?
I think it's part of it has to be reputation, right? I mean, it already is like a country music capital, but I think it has. I don't want to say it's piggybacking, but it's a combination of people go there with their act, I would imagine, to try to make it. But the competition is so fierce, I would imagine. Well, obviously, most of them don't end up working out. So then you're already living there. You're a very talented musician. You have to be able to cut your teeth in that market. And then it kind of works itself out where, once again, the parts kind of congeal together and talented people get together that know how to market themselves, know how to play music, and know how to present themselves. And that's how you get successful acts out of it. But I'd imagine most of the acts that don't go down there don't make it out the same way they came in.
Mhm.
But that's my guess.
Do you feel like Nashville is that place where it's like this is kind of like your make it or break it point type of thing, or is it I need to see how good I am and work on what I need to do in the future? like that kind of development.
I don't know what you guys
Maybe for
think.
some people, you know.
I think that so much now is online that it's kind of shifted a little bit away from that. So like when we played there, I think everybody that worked at the venue was in a band, not the same band, but they're all in different. So it's almost so saturated there that it makes it a little harder to make it out of there. And I think it used to be that way, but I think as more things come online, it's how can you build an online presence that really helps a band take off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that we got from just talking to a lot of people out there in Nashville is it seemed like um, the people who were there, a lot of like people working were saying like, hey, there's like 100 shows a night, and most of the people who are, out there are musicians, like people who are in the city are
Yeah.
other musicians. So most of them are playing their gig. So it's tough competition to get people who aren't musicians who want to come out to shows to come to your show when they've got hundreds of options.
I mean, when you're competing
So-
with Taco Bell as a venue,
That is sick.
It's
Though. I
insane.
want to play the Taco
Yeah.
Bell out in
it's
Nashville.
insane.
Like that's
they have
so
a whole
cool.
full stage. It's crazy.
Where is this Taco Bell?
It's in
It's
Nashville.
Nashville. They have one like in downtown, like just off like one of the side streets, just off like one of the main roads there. Like I want to play Nashville
A
Taco
full
Bell.
stage and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if that's the one that I think people get married out of.
Yeah.
There's
I don't
one in
know.
Vegas, too.
There's one in Vegas, I think. That might be the one they get married out of. But maybe.
Get married to both. Why not?
Yeah.
Because I've heard of people getting married at Taco Bell, and I wonder if it is
Wow.
that. Because I'm pretty sure it's just not a regular establishment that you would get.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's insane.
yeah. Hey.
I'm a Taco Bell employee and also an ordained minister.
Hey. If there's a market for it.
That's the deal.
Yeah, but I definitely get where you're coming from with, like you said, a town being so saturated with talent, and then also on top of that, you have the internet craze of like musical influencers or just influencers in general, and then even on top of that, like you got all these different shows, like music shows, where like America's Got Talent and all that. Have any of you tried going on those shows, or you just like that's something you just don't really want to do, just focusing
Well,
more on the music aspect?
My audition's next week, so we'll see how that goes. But no, I'm joking. Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys ever thought about going on one of those things? I never have.
I think like growing up, because I watched a lot of, the American Idol and X Factor and The Voice and all of that. I've watched it and, there's always the parties like, oh, I should audition. I never did. I've spoken to some people who have, and just the process of it maybe wasn't as like intriguing or what I thought it would be about. I think in the end, it seemed a little bit more like TV focused, or like we're trying to make a show not as much like talent top priority or like the music top priority focus.
At least not originals.
Yes, I think that's a
Yeah.
little bit what was like, I don't think that's quite what I'm looking for.
It's
I think it's
more
one of
like,
those things where it has to be so. Oh no, you're fine. It has to be so appealing to the masses that I mean, you look at examples like Kelly Clarkson is probably the biggest example of somebody to come out of American Idol, and she managed to make original music and that kind of stuff. But I can't think of too many other people that made their way out of that also ended up doing successful original music, or at least not to the level that would be that she did, or like to make a living really. I mean, I remember it was a big deal when in my hometown, Ruben Studdard played the state fair. And like that was like a big deal when he was coming through. And I never heard of him again after that. No offense to him. I hope he's doing well. But
I think he went to gospel.
wow.
I don't know if he's still alive. I'm not
No.
entirely sure. Don't quote me on that.
No.
But going back to you were saying, like, yeah, it does seem like a lot of people go on those shows. Like, I do believe that the only people really like are still around and relevant. It's like you said, Kelly Clarkson, and I think Jennifer Hudson, because they both have like talk shows.
Yeah.
I know Clay Aiken was like a mayor or something for like a town or like a senator or something.
I remember hearing about
But
that.
I don't know about it.
Interesting.
David Cook had a few hits.
David Cook, I watched his season. I was a big fan. I was kind of sad when I seemed like he came out with this album and then I never heard of him again.
Yeah.
So.
It really is one of those things. I feel like it's you face a lot of the same problems that like a big cover band would, where you're either going to have to like specialize in this like one thing, but or go originals, and it's much riskier to go with original music after that. I don't know, but it's for some people. But I think we wanted to. The other thing is you have the individuality factor of that kind of thing, where like a band on America's Got Talent, or people are naturally going to gravitate towards one member. And while that's certainly important from a stage perspective and like maintaining people's attention, like it can cause issues for like funding. It can cause issues for like how to divide up the pie, like ego issues. And we I don't know, never really been in the cards to apply for something like that to us, but I think we're more comfortable doing it kind of the organic way, playing colleges and bars and shows, and it's more fun.
Hopefully you guys come to Champaign-Urbana and I get to see you in person.
That'd be cool.
We've looked into it. We want to make it out there. So
yeah. Look at what are the cool venues out there?
Canopy Club.
There's the Canopy Club. They are actually doing something in town here. It's called The Beat, where it is live bands and stuff. I would actually, if you guys were able to come out, that'd be great, instead of just having like the same middle-aged hair metal bands coming out, or just jazz bands. It would be great. So we got actual diversity.
We'll look into it and we'll see what we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that would be honestly great to see people other than just like a jazz band, or like these 5 guys who are trying to relive their high school years and just playing Poison and Def Leppard.
We've heard enough of that at open mics.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might know those guys.
Yeah. Or you have 3 people in a row play what is it, Stranglehold by Ted Nugent. Like and they it's just all soloing all night.
Yeah. I can't wait for that hate mail. I can't wait.
Yeah. How do you want to alienate half of rock's biggest audience?
Somebody's gonna be like, "How dare you say my band is?" I'm like, "Hey, I calls it how I sees it."
Yeah.
When you got on leopard pants and let me get off that. What have been some of the highs and lows that you've experienced since being together?
Ooh.
Opening for Pool Kids was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We got to open for them.
The rap duo?
No, a band like a sort of Midwest emo-y type prog band called Pool Kids, and then we opened for a band called The Funeral Portrait. They were really cool, and they were already pretty big, but they've since gone on to even bigger stuff. Those are probably some of the highs. That and last year's tour for me. Some of the we did have a guitarist. Not that I want to name anything, but like we had to struggle to find and play a show once early on after one of the band members left, and that was probably one of the low points, but we've come out of it stronger, which is cool. And better. The music's better than it's ever been. Our stage presence is, I mean, it's just amazing. So, and nothing against him, it was, hopefully everything's going good, but the highs have outstripped the lows, thankfully.
Whether it be like in your writing process or just trying to make some songs or try to go into an album, something like that. Has there ever been that point where like you hit that wall, or just like, I know you say you went from going to like that pop punk sound and to try to find, what your different, sound, stuff like that. Was it a certain point where it was just like, you didn't know how you were going to get to it, or what, like I said, where you hit that wall and it was just like, you know what I mean?
I think what ended up happening is the songs just started evolving and trending that way, whether or not we really realized it. And then I think once we started like really sitting down and thinking about it, like, oh, this is what we've been doing, or like just naturally trending towards, like, okay, let's just lean into it. This is something cool. Like, let's do it. But yeah, I think songwriting has always been something where someone will like start an idea, whether that's vocals, bass, guitar. We have not started a song from drums, but hey, maybe that's on the list. Yes. And then we kind of share the idea with the group and sit on it a bit, and then it's just kind of sharing and adding, and then something you thought might go one direction, all of a sudden goes some other direction. We're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then more ideas keep flowing. And I think we've worked really well as a group together, just with, I don't even know, just like turning this little seed of something into something like really amazing where it's like, oh my gosh, that's super cool. Love that. Love this. Yeah, I think that's the one cool thing that we've really had as a group writing is just how things have ended up turning out and how just excited we are about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely a quantity over quality writer. I like to just kind of throw stuff out there in little, like, not fully developed ideas and see what vibes with the other members of the band. And then we have a lot of variety in our musical background, I think. So the original vision, I think I found it is better to put out what I'm responsible for, or maybe a loose outline otherwise, like on piano, and then just let them paint within the lines or fill in the gaps or whatever. Because I think historically I've tried to like fully produce something, and then when it ends up not being to the vision, it can be frustrating for everybody. Whereas like letting everybody kind of breathe and add their own paint to the canvas is the best way that we've found, and it's been proven effective against writer's block. I don't think we've really hit a wall as a result of it.
No, so it is more of a, hey, we got this piece. Let's take a minute, see what we can get out of it, and then when all the parts are together, not just all right, we got this right now, need to bang it out. And
Yep.
I think what you say that is a better process of making
Yeah.
music because you're like you say, you're letting it breathe, letting it, you're listening to it over and over, and then try to find the right sound to go with it.
Yeah.
And even when we have what we think might be a finished idea, once we go to studio, a lot of times we come out with just a totally different project. And that's mostly Kevin's fault, our producer. 'Cause he has too many good ideas.
Please address all complaints to him.
Yeah. So if there's anything you don't like, you could blame him for it. Oh, he's an awesome producer, and that's actually what shifted a lot of our sound too, because we started. I think "Drowning" was one of the first songs we recorded with him.
Yeah,
actually,
it was.
and he has added to like this change in sound too. So yeah, it's a lot of different parts coming together. You think you're finished writing something, and then he throws you 10 curveballs while you're trying to play a drum part. It just ends up being a totally different song by the end of it.
Well, that also seems like you say, you were all talking about how since you've been together that just really haven't been any issues. That even is a part of it there too, because like you say, you have something you think is a finished product, and somebody throws an idea out and is like, let's try it. And there's a lot of bands who would just go, no, we're done, this, blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like you all have that communication with each other too. And it seems very strong.
That's what I was going to say is it's if somebody throws out an idea, there's a certain amount of courage, definitely honesty and trust with each other, where it's like you have to, it's almost an obligation to tell somebody how you really feel about the idea being tried. If you don't like it, if you do like it, it's easy to say that, but like, I think anytime there's been an idea, everybody in the group that isn't well received, everybody in the group has had the humility to be like, okay. And anytime that there is a good idea, everybody in the group is willing, like, first to jump on and be like, I love that. Like, that's a great thing to do. And so you can't, I don't know. I think one of the most important things about that is the honesty with each other. And I think we've all been pretty honest in that regard. I don't think there are any regrets. I mean, not that we're going to air them here if there are.
I can edit it and take it out. But speaking on that more, has there been something where, somebody suggested something and you were just like, I'm not too sure, boy, it came out better than you thought?
Yeah.
For me, sorry.
I was just going to say early on when we first started recording, definitely for me, I would really marry to an idea. And, I'd be ready for that idea in the studio, and then things would change. I'd be like, man, I really had this vision this way. As we've recorded more songs, I've learned to trust like everyone else's opinion. So if there's an idea that they don't like, I'm pretty quick just to move on and come up with something different. And I think that really helps the music a lot too, because if everyone's against an idea, that's probably not a good idea.
You were saying, Derek? Yeah.
I mean, that pretty much echoes what I was going to say with our new one that's going to be coming out in a month or so.
Yeah.
There's a part in the middle that it switches to an odd time signature. And when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know about that. But then once I like got used to it and we took it to studio, like now I hear it and I'm like, yeah, that's good.
It's up there. I think it's my favorite part of the song now.
Definitely the bass line.
Oh well, thank you.
Wins a lot.
Yeah. Garrett's got some sick bass lines
thank
in the
you.
songs if you listen to them.
Yeah. And then the producer turns them down.
It's like, I love that, but we should do this.
Yeah. 30 more guitars, please.
It's never 30 more basses.
No.
We need more bass. I got a fever and I need
Write a
more
counterpoint bass line to the counterpoint.
All right. Since we're still speaking on music process, what bands or like artists inspire you to make the music that you do?
Well, I grew up as a metal kid. That was like during the boom of like metalcore and like post-hardcore and stuff. So that's kind of my roots. So when I write something, especially like in this project, I'm not trying to mimic that era, but those influences come out like regardless, just because that's how I was raised. That's what I've listened to for like 20 years. So just bands like that, but recently started listening to a lot of like indie, like dream pop stuff. So it's kind of like a weird marriage of this like heavy rhythm, but then there's like pretty leads and stuff over it, like guitar wise anyway. Yeah. So yeah.
One of my favorite things to inject, because I started out as like a pop punk and like ska punk kid when I was like a teenager, and when I was first starting to play bass, and then I came to find out that a lot of those bassists were either influenced by like disco music or like old R&B music from the 60s on those lines. And so I'm kind of obsessed with this idea of having this like heavy music, but this really dancey bass line to like tie it all together and like kind of groove it and not just stick to like the guitar chords, like kind of have this like thing to really move it and make it, even if it's heavy, still kind of danceable. And I think that's a really fun and engaging thing to listen to. So I think that's what I like to inject in the music.
For the longest time, I was one of your top hits pop radio girlies. Yeah, so that was a lot of it. Especially as a vocalist, I feel like, you lean towards the songs that are like vocal focused more so. But then again, over time, started getting more into some rock bands and some heavier music or like various like indie bands and things. So it just kind of expanded my horizon from just turning the radio on and listening to the same song for the 20th time that day.
All right, back to 96.3.
Yeah.
96.
Or like from
hits.
Chicago Kiss FM.
Yep, 103.5.
Yes, 103.5. Yep. So yeah, I think that's probably where a lot of it is, like, at least when I'm working on melodies and stuff, there's times where I've written something, I'm like, that's boring, I'm over it, like trying something different. So having fun with that, and then also having fun with like the instrumentation and the fun elements that the guys get to bring into it that make it like interesting and ear catching, where it's not, the same thing over and over, the same thing that just blends in with the 5 other songs that have just played. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for me, a lot of alternative stuff, especially when I first started playing. So Breaking Benjamin, eventually got into like Blink-182 for a little bit. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. I think I knew every song on one of their albums. And then after I went through like a stretch where I didn't have my drums, that's when I really started getting into metal. So I felt like coming back into drums, I was more influenced by metal and kind of blended that with some of the older stuff I liked.
I think the biggest thing for all of us is like kind of tying all that influence into like a pop language. Like even if the music's going to be heavy, we still want it to be catchy and like something that can be played for like not necessarily a mass audience or like sell out, but something that wouldn't be out of place on like a normal radio station instead of like something that's a little more niche. Because ultimately I do want to have, and I think we all want to have music heard by people. And while it's cool to like, I love pop music. Everybody, like a catchy pop song is great. Like it's fun. It's fun to listen to. People like it. And I like fusing those ideas together creates this really unique sound, I think.
But for those of you who are just listening, Kitty has just entered the chat.
This is Jax.
there he
He's
is.
the sweetest boy.
He's the real star.
Yeah,
He's
he's the moneymaker.
Yeah.
But it all seems from everything you all just said that like you either grew up listening to certain thing and either kind of kept that same style or started listening to other stuff to complement it. I'm in that same way. I was a kid growing up in Chicago. I listened to Jenny, you'll get Q101
Yep.
and like 97.1 the drop, all that stuff. And I would still listen to like rap and stuff around that, like rap and R&B at that time too. And once I started getting older, got into other bands or started getting into the bands I would listen to at the times, like discography, because when you only listen to like the hits or certain stuff on the radio, at a certain point we're like, well, I've only heard this. What else do they have? And then what grows from that?
Yeah.
And so I see it seems like all of you have that diverse music style and music taste, and then we bring it together. It is amazing when it comes to
Thank you.
you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
no
that.
problem. All right, my next question. When you're not rocking out together or, playing a gig or something, what are you all doing? What are your hobbies, interests? Are you like married with kids, anything like that?
Thinking about rocking out.
Yeah.
I'm in the group chat.
Yeah.
The group chat moves a lot.
Yeah. Posting
I-
memes, obviously. Yeah, just dumb stuff.
It moves a lot. It moves fast.
Yeah, it does. I like to, I have a fiance. I like, we like to go on hikes. I read, play video games, that kind of stuff.
What do you play?
And right now, I love the Metal Gear Solid series, so I'm introducing her to that, and we're playing that. We just got done with The Last of Us Part 2, which was really
PlayStation
good.
guy, hey, right here.
Yeah, it was really good. And yeah, I need to get a PS5. I still haven't put out the money for it, but
I shelled out the money, and it's worth it.
it looks cool, but I just can't. I'm like, I want some kind of price break. Maybe over the holiday I can do it, but I can't.
Probably Black Friday.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah.
Well, I guess it's still kind of related to music, but I work on guitars. I build electric guitars. I love setting them up. I set up a couple of kids' basses.
I have no patience for it. He's like a wizard with it, but
it's fun. But,
It's the Midwesterner in us. We don't have patience.
yeah, I just really like working on them. I like buying something used that's like kind of beat up or like something cheap, and then I just like trick it out with like better parts or just make it play really nice. And yeah,
Would you ever want to have your own like marketed guitars?
Yeah, I've thought about it, but the whole like business side of that kind of bums me out, because what's the phrase, like people say like, oh, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And it's like, well, if you love your job, or if you make what you love your job, like maybe you learn to hate it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe one day.
And Jenny, I didn't get you on this one.
Oh gosh, if I'm not working, running a lot, to be honest, running a lot of the band socials and coming up with the content ideas, that takes a lot of my time. I like going on walks or like doing like little hikes and stuff. And then I love watching like sci-fi shows or like seeing what's new on, Netflix or Amazon or this or that. So yeah, that's a lot of what I spend my time on.
Yeah, and I work full time too, so I don't get a ton of free time with the band now because that's really my main hobby. But I play golf sometimes. I used to play a lot of video games, but I've kind of been out on that for a while just because I don't have the time for it anymore. And then mainly just watching shows and simple stuff.
He's the doom scroller, just like on
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
going through.
TikTok.
We're all doing scrolls.
Wait,
Yeah.
guilty.
Memes.
Guilty.
Man, trust me, I try not to. I really do. I got to the point where I really only have social media like on my laptop, so it's not on my phone.
That's smart. Well, yeah, it's literally designed to keep you on it as long as you can. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ugh.
I am so guilty of listening to those "Am I the Asshole" stories that people read on TikTok.
Hmm.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
They are nuts. I've
The
heard a
answer
lot
is
of
almost
those
always
ones.
yes.
People's
Some of
lives
them,
are
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mhm.
The funny ones I've not the Am I the Asshole ones, but it's the Brook and Jubal in the morning. Those ones,
Yes.
they are insane. If you ever like Facebook got me on those and then they switched over to my Instagram.
I
And
listened to them a few years ago and then they started popping up all over my TikTok feed. So I've been obsessed with just going through them.
yeah, it was one I listened to where this guy who was like a contractor was messing with some guy's wife who said that she was divorced, and then the guy met them at a bar and was like, I know you're sleeping with my wife, whatever. It's one where like this woman basically like slept with her cousin and stuff
Oh
like that.
no.
It's so insane.
Oh.
That, yeah.
Jerry.
Basically, yeah. It was like they didn't know each. We could talk about this.
It's like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on in Seattle? Because I'm pretty sure that's where that's based off
So
of.
so they don't even do the show anymore. Like it's been like years ago.
No,
He
yeah.
he does one by himself, and I think he still does. Like I
Mhm.
think it's called the Second Date Update, stuff like that. But those shows are like from years ago. But
Yeah.
we could talk about this
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we could talk about this forever.
Gotta figure out how to get on that algorithm.
We could talk about Love Line on Q101.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
I was so anyway.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've got the missed connections Craigslist thing going on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very true. Um, if you could collaborate with anybody, who would it be?
Mike Strainer's Spirit Box.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be a very
I think
good
that's the second spirit box I've got.
I love Spirit Box.
So
Sleep
we-
Token's pretty hot
Yeah.
right
Sleep
now.
Token.
Yeah, sleep. You know what? I listen to a lot of Sleep Token. Those guys kill it. I wish I can get them on the show for an interview because my God, that
If you
anybody
do,
else.
tell them we want to play with them.
Oh yeah, I'll send the
Exactly.
info. I'll be like,
We'll all
hey,
come
here's
out to the venue, to any venue you want in Champaign or Urbana. We'll open for him. Jackson.
Jax.
He just wants to be.
He wants to
interviewed.
collaborate.
Cat just went past the webcam for everybody listening.
Aw.
Yeah.
But anybody else you'd want to collaborate with, like even outside of rock, because I've had bands say that they would, want to collaborate with like Dr. Dre and Snoop and people like that. I had someone say like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Also like Imogen Heap. I think she's a genius, like just a musical genius. That's the What You Say girl. People don't know what that is.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite band growing up was Green Day. That'd be cool. I don't know what we'd play, but that'd be cool. I feel like we could crush it with Billie Eilish, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know, bring like a heavier element to like a pop act. Be kind of cool. Who else? Any ideas?
That's it.
That's it. Those are the only ones.
Nobody else.
No.
All right, this next question you can either do all together or if you want to do your own personal one. What is your Mount Rushmore of rock?
No. You each want to get one?
Sure.
You nominate up there?
Or if we want to make it less vague, we can do like Mount Rushmore of music. Or if you want to stick with rock, that's on you.
Man, Mount Rushmore of rock.
I feel like music in general, there's too much variety.
Yeah.
Just for
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think that's so hard. I would, if I did, I mean, I'm going to speak, it's the most boring answer I could give, but I'd have to put the Beatles on there, I think. I love the Beatles. They're so influential to rock, pop, alternative music, avant-garde music. I mean, they pretty much did everything. And while it's not one of those bands that everybody likes, there's at least one song by them that you know and you enjoy. And how many bands can say that?
Hatred. I never understood the hatred of the Beatles.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. It's like people hate Nirvana now too, or like
Do they?
Some people do that I've met, and it's like, well, I think they're just so ubiquitous, like so everywhere that like people grow sick of them, but it's like, okay, come on, dude. Like, this is good for like people like it for a reason. It's just good. It's good music.
Growing up as a guitar player, I definitely heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, he sucks. He's the worst guitar player ever. He killed the guitar solo."
Yeah, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you like listen to that stuff, like it's all deliberate. Like it's all premeditated.
I mean,
Like
he's not trying to be anything.
no, no, but definitely the Beatles. Many other
I mean,
thoughts?
depends on like the era, I guess. But I like, I think Asking Alexandria really set the table for a lot of different sounds in metal with like their dancey stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that'll be my honorable mention.
That's a good one. What else would we put on there? There's some. It's like one of those things when someone asks you to play a song. It's like you forget every single song you've ever learned. Like, I mean, it all depends on what kind of movement you're going for. Like, if you're thinking like, hair metal was really popular for a while, and while it's not everybody's cup of tea, like Van Halen owed a lot to that. Like, me personally. I would throw Green Day on there, but I don't think I would. And they're still going. Maybe I would put them on there because again, they're kind of just a good pop act that's been this kind of punk consistent flavor for 30 years, which it's arguably too long, but they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
And then,
is it too cliche to say Metallica?
I don't think so.
No,
I love Metallica. I like it. They're good. Like they're. It's one of those bands that it's like you listen to like Master of Puppets or whatever. It's like, okay, it's like Baby's first metal album, but like it's good again for a reason. Like
they've been around forever. They kind of innovated the genre,
and they're still going too. I think they're doing one more tour, then it's over. I think it's done.
Only band.
They say that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll hear about a reunion tour.
Yeah, 5 years later, it's like we're going back on tour.
Only band to play on all 7 continents too.
Yeah.
Live in Antarctica.
Yep. It sounded terrible. Well, Lars always sounds terrible, but
I was gonna say, as a drummer, I can't.
That's true.
Can't go there.
So I think Metallica is one of those bands too that people hate on, and I don't understand why. I know like the Saint Anger album, whatever, that wasn't great, but they still have hits. They're on my Mount Rushmore. I put them with my Mount Rushmore is them, Soundgarden, Foo Fighters, and that 4th spot it always switches.
Foo Fighters is a good pick. I saw them. I think it was 3.5 years ago before Taylor died, and I was like, I walked in being a casual fan, and I left, and I was like, holy shit! Like they have so many songs that like I forgot about, and I knew every single one the whole night. They were all great. They played for 3 hours. There was like nothing but respect. I love Dave Grohl. Incredible musician, great singer, great screamer. But he's awesome.
He's just multifaceted too.
I know. He's been in so many bands. He's always Tenacious D's drummer, which is wild. Very funny. Anyway.
What has been your favorite place to perform? Is it Nashville?
The basement.
What was the best one?
I liked Pittsburgh a lot at a place called the Fat Cat. Which actually we were the last show there because they closed down, and I think they just reopened like a couple weeks ago. So
that was a fun night.
Yeah, it was fun.
They have like a decicimal reader, and we just had to keep making sure we weren't getting too loud.
Yeah.
And we're just like, man, we played too loud. They shut the place down.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
that was good.
I liked Cleveland. The Tree Lawn was a lot of fun. I just like that venue because it kind of reminded me of just like a small bar back home.
Yeah,
so that was fun.
It was really nice. I talked way too long with that guy about old school hardcore punk. He loved it though. The one for St. Louis, I think off Broadway was probably my favorite.
On Broadway
here
Off-Broadway
in St. Louis. Yeah. Where did we play in Chicago? We played there a couple times.
We played
the Fallen Log.
Yeah, the Fallen Log. That venue was really cool.
That was really cool.
It was a vibe.
That was really cool.
It was a vibe.
Yeah, they
the
gave
workers
us
there were really
free
awesome.
pizza.
Yeah, they gave us food. They were so nice. Just very welcoming.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? Falling Log?
The Fallen Log.
Very cool place.
They got
I'm gonna
cool
have to
like
check that out.
Kitchen 17 / The Fallen Bar.
yeah, they have cool decor, lighting, everything was
Bartender lets you play Pokemon on the TV above the bar.
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I'm a
Please
Digimon
have us
man.
back.
Oh, Digimon. Yeah, fair enough.
I like Pokemon. I was a
Yeah.
nerd back then. I was Pokemon and Digimon
Yep.
and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that stuff. So.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need to do more stuff in Chicago. Like I grew up there for so long, but I moved in like those prime years of where I could go out and do stuff, and I didn't really get the chance to. I need to actually do that again. But
Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
True. Hopefully not. Fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
not. That'd be bad.
Are there any other places that you like to perform?
Locally, Diamond Hall is a good
Diamond
one.
Music Hall.
Diamond
Yeah.
Music Hall. Yeah.
That's
They have
cool
really
to
good
do.
sound people there. They always do a good job there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that place? Was it the Barrel Room?
The Bear Room.
Yeah, I
Louisville?
liked that one in Louisville.
Oh, in Louisville? Yeah, that was
place
cool.
was cool.
Yeah, that was a good
That
one.
place was huge if you walked through like the other
Mhm.
parts of the building.
Mhm.
It was fun because there was just lots of things, and I don't know if I was allowed to do it, but to like climb and stand on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how happy they were, but I did it anyway.
You're just like, fuck it, anarchy. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here in St. Louis, Old Rock House was cool.
Oh
That
yeah,
was a cool
that place was
venue.
cool. Yeah.
The Duck Room in St. Louis is great. A lot of great St. Louis venues.
Heavy
A lot of really
Anchor
good stuff.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heavy Anchor is cool.
My bucket list is the factory someday.
That would be cool.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
Derek, earlier you were saying how like Cleveland gets like a bad rap, and so like, what is it about it? Is it just because it's just the city, or is it because of the state?
I've just always heard about, I don't know. I think the river lighting on fire in the 60s or the 70s kind of sticks in everybody's mind as just being a bad place. And I don't know if it was my parents, if they had a bad experience, but from everybody I heard growing up, they were just like, yeah, Cleveland sucks. And I get there and I'm like, everybody's here is really nice. The drinks are cheap. It's pretty. Like it's right by one of the Great Lakes. Like this is awesome.
Cleveland
So I
rocks.
think
Yeah,
I
it's
think they
true.
build up Cleveland a lot more because they're putting more money into it. Like that, I've heard recently, like they're trying to put in, I believe it is Cleveland, where they try to do like new stadiums and stuff and make it
I
like
think I
more
heard
like
that. Yeah.
an entertainment spot on top
Yeah.
of like an arena and stadium, stuff like that. So they are trying to do more to build it up and actually put
Yeah.
more money into the city, which is nice because you would want that for something that is as big as that, especially like
Absolutely.
somewhere with a sports team, you want them to get big. I think the biggest thing is like I don't know if it's like the people in charge of all of it trying to like stop it or try to push it or try to move it to a different area. Like I know they try to do
Interesting.
that. I know they try to do that with the White Sox, where they try to move them to Arlington Heights or something like that instead of out of Chicago. Which I'm just like, why would you do that?
That's for that team. That's blasphemy too. Like they've
Mhm.
been there for so long. Like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to do the same thing with the Bears too, move them out of
Yeah.
Chicago and put them somewhere, like put a stadium somewhere else. Like still keep the Soldier Field where it is because it's still like a national landmark or something like
Yeah.
that. But have the team move to a different spot, which I'm just like, and I'm not a Bears fan, but I'm just like, you shouldn't be doing this. If you're gonna do
Yeah.
something, make it better. Keep it in Chicago. We got
Oh.
enough land. But
You don't have to tell people in St. Louis about a team
Yeah.
moving on. And,
As long as they
Like,
don't move to Vegas,
yeah.
you're good.
yeah,
like this city gave so much, or wanted to give so much money to the Rams, and then they just completely left. Like, yeah, that stuff's awful, man. I hate when they do that.
I was actually in St. Louis last week, actually.
Oh, cool.
I went there to go see a hockey game.
Nice.
Yeah, so
And you
so-
didn't tell it? No, I'm joking.
Hey, I should have hit you up, be like, hey, I'm going to
Yeah.
the Blackhawks Blues game. You guys come
Sorry,
by.
are you a Blackhawks fan then?
Yeah, I'm a Blackhawks fan.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry for you.
Uh,
It's unfortunate right now.
I'm a Blackhawks fan. I'm a White Sox fan, and
Nice.
I'm a Bulls fan.
Hey.
I'm 0 for 3 there. Like
That's good.
Bears, I'm not a big fan of. I'm a Denver Broncos fan because my dad.
Okay.
I came out the womb wearing number 7.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
As my dad says, we wear the colors better.
That's funny.
Yeah, St. Louis doesn't have much to brag about right now either. So
No, they might make the playoffs in hockey.
yeah,
We'll see. Yeah,
then they'll let us down.
Yeah, just tease you enough to be very disappointing by the end.
Yeah.
That being said, if they want us to play, I will play there.
All right, and then final question, and this one always gets everybody. Whether you're on tour, whether you're back at home, where is your favorite place to get food?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So we did
You
manage.
have a lot of opinions on this.
Okay,
feel
I am a
like.
foodie.
Yeah.
I love finding food places, but the one place I am most proud of that we finally got Gareth to try, I don't think if Derek had tried before, Portillo's.
Yes.
They've never
Yeah,
had or tried
yeah,
Portillo's
yes.
before.
That was
Yes.
good.
I had it before.
This is
Yeah.
announcement to
It was good.
Portillo's. If anyone who works for them, please open us a place in St. Louis. Like,
Delta
please. Like, you can have a parking lot show. We will play for you. Like, we will get people there.
It's grand opening with a
Yeah.
live performance.
Yes.
Just give us a free sandwich.
I'd play for a free sandwich. You know how big that
Right?
thing is?
Honestly, I would too.
Their Italian beef sandwiches. Oh my
That
god.
was so good.
Oh yeah, it's one here, but like from where I'm in the station right now, it's probably about a good 5 to 10 minute drive.
Oh,
But
you gotta go.
Their Italian beef sandwiches, extra hot peppers dipped, love it. Their fries are great. Their Polish sausages are great. Fried chicken sandwiches are great. I tried one of their cake shakes for the first time the other day, or like a few weeks ago, not the other day. It was good, but it was heavy. It's just a lot when you're eating all this
The
other
chocolate
stuff.
cake shake is definitely
Yeah.
very decadent. I am I am a fan and a consumer of that for sure. It is a meal in itself.
It is. I barely even ate like 20% of it. Like, it was just too much.
Oh no, I'll get like my actual food and then get that. I'll get a large, and I'll either put it in the fridge or the freezer, or even let it sit out so that way it can like get let it melt out.
Just go back to
A
it.
little
It's
easier.
fine.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Around
man,
here, after band practices, we usually used to go to Show Me's, which is like a local just bar, like sports
Yeah.
bar
Their
place.
wings were really good.
Pretty good wings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty
We
juicy.
will always take wing place recommendations, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always on the hunt for good wings.
Yeah.
And then in St. Louis, like I guess maybe it's because it's close to my house, but there's a great Italian restaurant I like to go. We should go. It's called Trattoria Marcella.
Emos? Oh.
Yeah, Emos. Yeah. You ever had St. Louis style pizza?
I haven't.
Oh, you got to try
No, don't.
it.
Don't.
So
This is a touchy
I-
subject with the band.
I actually interviewed a band out of St. Louis the other Sunday. They go by and actually wearing the hat in Inimical Drive.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they were telling me about emos, and I was
Mhm.
like, because where I was last week, we were in Fairview Heights, so we were about like 20 minutes
Okay.
outside of
Yeah.
St. Louis, and it was an emos not too far from like the White Castle that me and my dad went to because love White Castle, can't get it all the time, and should have got a pizza to go or something like that, but
Yeah.
I left out way too early.
Yeah. It's a love it or hate it thing.
Yeah, it's polarizing.
Yeah, in my case, I really didn't like it. It doesn't help with the fact that each one is independently owned. So you either get a manager who really cares about doing the good ingredients and preparing it well, or you get the absolute worst pizza you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, you're getting Papa John's in a different form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and twice as expensive.
It's the Provel cheese too. Like
Yeah.
I love it on a sandwich. On pizza, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So what is St. Louis style pizza?
It's a square pizza cut into squares with it's
Very thin
thin,
crust.
very thin crust,
Cracker.
and with this cheese called Provel on it, which is like a blend of Swiss mozzarella and something
Yeah,
else.
it's very
Excuse me.
different.
It's very different. It's almost kind of waxy in texture. I know that doesn't sound good, but
And it's not.
yeah.
No.
You'll like it.
I'm with Derek.
What-
No.
If it's not cooked right, it comes out this soggy, awful mess that falls apart. If it's cooked well done, it's really crispy and crunchy and really good. So it really depends on what you get.
Now I'm kind of see why Jenny was like, no.
Yeah,
'cause
it's not for
You
everybody.
gotta stick with one topping if you get it, because if you add too much to it, that's when it gets kind of weird. But
Yeah,
yeah,
one topping, pepperoni.
We're selling it really well.
yeah. Well, even a lot of other places will do it, but like Emos is the one that's like the most prevalent, and I think the best. But
I had to
yeah,
try it next time I go to
Try
St.
it,
Louis.
form your opinion. However, I will warn you.
yeah, it's certainly worth trying. It's one of those things that people are proud of, like Malort to Chicago. Like, some people love it. Like my sister's boyfriend loves it. Like he's all
Yeah,
about Malort. He
I
has it
love the
every time
taste
we
of a
go.
NASCAR tire. It's
Yeah.
I know a guy that says he
it
loves it.
just that there's taste on my tongue that just doesn't want to go
Yeah.
away.
I think some people just like being contrarian. Like,
Well, it's like a
I
challenge.
mean, that's just the world now.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, emos. Waiting for that
I would
sponsorship.
definitely have to try outside of emos. Sorry,
With an
emos. Let me say it right before I get
Yeah.
struck down by somebody just like shadow teleports here. Outside of emos, is there like another big, well, even if it's not a chain, but like a big pizza place to go check out in St. Louis or like
There's
St. Louis
a
area?
if you're looking for a New York slice, I'd recommend Pie Guy in the Grove neighborhood of St. Louis. They have a really good like classic foldable slice of pizza.
I mean, even
And
getting like the St. Louis style, like is it just emos that does it, or
you
is it
could go
other
to any
places?
restaurant. There's a neighborhood called The Hill. That's where you live. But it's not that I want to dox you, but like the
There's a pizza at pizza place in the Hill called Antonino's. They have
That's good.
like a meat lovers like 4 meat pizza. Very good. It's like spicy. The meat on it is spicy somehow, and yeah, delicious every time.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with any of the restaurants up there. They're all pretty. It's just a really famous Italian restaurant neighborhood, and they all do some variant of it. So it's a great place. But Antonino's, particularly, you're right, is delicious.
Yeah.
I will definitely have to go and try St. Louis. I never knew about it, but I have to go.
We also invented toasted raviolis. So if you like toasted raviolis,
I do. I do like those.
you're in the money.
They,
You don't
they
have
are,
to. You can go to Emos for the T-Ravs and not have to get the pizza, and it's still good.
they are very
Funny
expensive
thing
to
is-
get at certain places because it's like,
That's
oh,
true.
oh, here's 4 toasted raviolis for
$20, please.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah,
every
I-
restaurant claims to invent it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I will definitely take my Chicago pizza bias out of it and try it. I love deep dish and I am a tavern style guy too. I like
Yeah.
both. I know I know like a lot of Chicago people are like, oh, deep dish is tourist pizza. I've eaten deep dish pizza more in my life. Like I'm a beggar's kid from back
Yeah.
home. Like Beggars, Italian Fiesta, places like that. I know Beggars is the more expensive place.
I've never met a pizza I didn't like, so I'm living in the lap of luxury right now.
I've met some pizza I didn't like. Papa John's is up there, and I don't know if you ever been to Des Moines, Iowa. There's a place out there.
No.
There's a place out there that they literally have a sign that says "worst customer service," and it's a pizza place. And they sell like I think they sell it by the slice, or you can get a full pie, and you can like haggle on the price of like how much you want to spend. Literally.
Are
Really?
you kidding me?
Like I got 2 slices of pizza and a drink for probably like $4, and the
Oh
lady
my
was like,
God.
"Oh, you could have got it for cheaper." It was like, "Lady, look, I'm hungry. It's like 1
Yeah,
o'clock in
I'm
the
trying to
morning."
buy a pizza, not go to a flea market. Like, what?
And it is literally like one of the worst places I've ever gone to. Like they were supposed to be making pizza. This guy like took a break out of nowhere, had a plate with a bunch of slices of pizza, came to where we were and was like chilling like it was not. I'm just like, are you
That's
serious right now?
That sounds like the Waffle House of pizza joints.
I just like Waffle House is better. Like nobody was fighting, thank God. But it was just like I just got done with a gig and we all was like, man, hungry, didn't know where to get anything. And it was literally like the worst place ever. Like pizza wasn't even that good. It was just like it's edible, it's sustainable, no type of thing.
That's funny.
It was
Hey,
like I need
sometimes
something.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when you're hungry, that kind of pizza can
Yeah.
taste good, I guess.
Take it off our list.
Yep. Won't be stopping there on the tour.
Not gonna lie, with the sign, I'm kind of interested to go check it out.
Yeah.
Like the worst
Yeah.
customer service
Yeah, they
sign.
literally
I'm
have
intrigued.
like a sign like glowing, like the neon sign
That's-
in the
I'm
window,
proud of it.
Hey,
and like they're proud of it. And
they
I
are
was like,
That's
just.
insane.
I kind of love that.
I
Yeah, me
know,
too.
right?
if they're still there for because this was like 2021 or something like that, maybe
Oh wow.
2022 when I went. So it was like in peak COVID, and it was
Oh
still
yeah.
like running, and it's a small like place too.
Wow. I mean, their reputation doesn't sound like they made it, but who
Mhm.
knows?
Hey,
I don't know how long they were there, but it was
Yeah.
definitely one of those spots where it's just like I will never come here again. Like this pizza was like this pizza was ass, but it was just something.
That's so funny.
oh.
But all right, I appreciate you
Yeah.
Yeah,
doing this
no, we
interview.
appreciate.
Thanks for having us. Anyone out there listening, here upcoming in May, we're going to be doing another little mini tour running through Detroit, Kalamazoo, and Chicago. Yeah, so come see us. What's the Chicago place?
Burlington Bar in
That's right.
Chicago.
Yeah, and that'll be cool. And then I think
Any-
the others are the Sanctuary in Detroit and Sugar Bowl in
Mhm.
Kalamazoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. And we're playing, if you're in St. Louis, we're playing April 19th with Fluorescence and Chainstay at the Heavy Anchor.
Nice.
So we got a plug. I'm sorry. It's the nature of the business.
Oh no, I got some plugging to do for you.
All right.
Apparently, you got
Plug
a
away.
EP coming out.
Yes, we
We
do.
do, yes. Yeah, we do.
Wanna talk
The Wait
about
to be
that?
honest.
The Wait to be honest.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think one of the exciting things is we've been releasing each song as singles for the EP, and the last one's coming up in about a month. Some of the like behind the scenes exciting things is we did film a full length music video for it, so we're super excited to be sharing that with everyone. But yeah, Conjuring Catalyst, actually the last song we'll be releasing was the first one we wrote.
Yeah.
Funny enough, kind of jumping back to Spirit Box, kind of going with my mishearing the name thing. I misheard one of Courtney's lines. I thought she sang, "I've never felt the weight, to be honest," but that's not what she says at all.
Oh, that does make sense.
So the weight, to be honest, Derek and I were talking about it. We're like, oh, like we like that line. We have to use the misheard line. And we ended up writing Conjuring Catalysts, really kept sticking with that line. And we're like, hey, that's going to be the EP title. So the songs on the EP and that one in particular all have to do with the kind of like the duality of figuring out who you are, who you're not. Some songs are in the living in the like disillusionment of like a reality you might create that's not real versus ones where you start to acknowledge what's actually there and what's happening and kind of like that balance of going through that journey. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely got to check out that EP when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yes. It's coming
Alright.
out.
When is it?
Hold on, I know the date.
April 25th.
Drum roll. I'm not the drummer for a reason.
Coming this spring.
No, April
Yeah.
25th. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I needed to confirm that so I didn't accidentally say the wrong date. But yes, April
Yeah.
25th.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you check out that EP on April 25th.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, I've been Damien Jaxxyn with the Midnight Drive. This has been Augmented Hearts. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Take care.